The biggest question today in the markets of traders, of investors, is the Federal Reserve going to hike the interest rate by 25 basis points? Okay, we had a June rally because the Fed had paused the interest rate hike, and now we see in July against the 33% people, those who are betting on an interest rate hike, we have 37% people that are betting on an interest rate hike has increased, and there is a likely increase in interest rates by 25 basis points that's coming. What are the implications on the price of Bitcoin, Ethereum, and the whole global crypto markets or the global markets? Let's take a look. So we had this rally in the Bitcoin price. We came around 25,000 here, the sports cluster here. You can see this was the support cluster, and we bounced around this level. Okay, and the Bitcoin has been rallying here. It made a higher high, but now it's consolidating. It's almost broken down from a flag. We have a market structure shift here once we broke down below this. But is this a real breakdown, or will we again spring up and this is a mere deviation like this? We had a deviation to the upside. Will we have a deviation to the downside, or are we going to continue to the downside to lower targets? So let's look at some low time frame charts to analyze what's going on, what could be the possible setups, what could be the possible triggers. So the first thing that comes to mind is we see Bitcoin has broken down from this range. This was a long range that almost was forming from around June, okay, 22nd June. And after a month, we have seen the small breakdown. Although the volume is not huge, it's not too worrying. But what matters right now is why the price is paused here, okay? You see on the hourly, we have the small cluster here, okay? And we almost tested that demand, this cluster, okay? This is still a minor demand, but I would say, but still we are testing this cluster. If we break up, have a rejection again, then we might actually break down into lower targets, okay? But since this cluster is holding, we might confirm a deviation and then go up, okay? And this is 29,500 level, the $29,500 on Bitcoin. That's the level which is very tricky for bulls and the bears. If the bears reject the price from that point, we go lower. If bulls are successful with volume, we see some markup in the price, and then we see 29,500 to $600 being reclaimed and some consolidation happening. Then we may have the next leg towards this level, which I have marked previously around $31,000, because that remains the level of mitigation. Okay, since we had this breakdown, we have some void here. Okay, so this level is pretty critical. We also had a monthly NPOC here, okay? Around this, the naked POC has been tagged, and the price is trying to go up, okay? So let's look how the momentum looks on on Coinbase. We are seeing some bidding around this lows on this dip, okay, which is good if a spot is bidding. But on futures also, we are seeing some shorts are scaling into this dump, okay, aggressively. So that's pretty much in the short term, I guess that's pretty much calling for a recipe for at least a short move to the upside, okay? But if we do not have it, and the price starts rejecting here, the next target in my opinion will be on the, you'll look at the monthly chart. Let's look at the monthly chart where we are and what are the possible targets, okay? So if there is a breakdown, then on the monthly chart we are looking at this level here, right here. We're looking to tag the previous monthly open, which is around $27,200 on Coinbase, okay? So that's the level of interest for the beers. If it were to break down here, we would have our level of interest here around the 27,200 level, which is the previous monthly open. So that remains a trigger. We have some here for FBG here as well. This FBG right here, that's also an area of interest. But if we are able to hold this region and start pushing up, okay, towards 29,500 without any rejection, if we reclaim this, we can go up to mitigate this longs as well. We have some trapped longs around that level, which I showed on the early chart. Why that was a level of interest? Obviously, there's a range highs around $31,500, and here you see the price has just fallen down. We have some trap longs on this setup, okay, when the price broke down a bit. So once this has happened, we see a resolution happening here. But if it's fake, then we reclaim this and go up to mitigate this longs. But again, I see some rejection. I don't think Bitcoin is ready yet to pump towards those 35k or 40k marks. Okay, let's see how the strength develops in the market. But for now, 28.8 remains the most critical level here. 28,800 in the short term. This level, which I have marked in the hourly chart, that remains the most critical level out here. If we violate this level, we are going below to the previous monthly open. That's pointed around $27,200. Okay, no questions asked. But if you are holding this level, there is always an opportunity for a long scalp. Okay, so there is still there are a little bit of single prints around this zone, 28,500 to 600. So you might see the price might come down, sweep it one more time and go up. Okay, we're looking at it, and if you look at the 50, let's say the 5 minute time frame, we have one raid, two raid, and we're waiting on a third raid here. Okay, so we're waiting on a third raid here somewhere below to so that we can grab the liquidity, we have the triple rate, and then we go up. Okay, so all patiently waiting for that setup to unfold. Either we get this sweep, the third sweep, and now we long on the third red into this previous into the range lows, which is the broken range lows, okay, around 29,500. Or if we straight down reject here, then we have our bids lower around 27.2. Okay, okay, that's where the lower bits will be ideally. Okay, so let's see how it pans out. If you look at Ethereum as well, I'm taking out the Ethereum chart on spot Binance. So we have Ethereum has broken down from this wedge, small wedge. Okay, the breakdown is not. We had this breakdown, then we had this retest here of the wedge, and it's still breaking down. So Ethereum's level of confluence is around $1,720, which is around, let's say, this level. Okay, and if we have a puke on Ethereum, if Bitcoin pukes as well, Ethereum may come down to this level. Okay, because this is our level of confluence, which I see around $1,720. Okay, which will again reset this whole pump. Okay, you can say that Ethereum has been in this range for quite a while now. This is the range I'm talking about on Ethereum as well. Okay, so this is the range lows here on Ethereum, and this is the range highs around $2,026. We had a sweep of the high, then we come down, and this is the range lows we are talking about, right? Currently, we are around this mid range area, around 1820 to $1830. This is the range high, and this is the range low. So if we have more puke on Ethereum, then it can come to $1,720. Okay, so you have to be careful about this. Okay, and currently the price is still kind of chopping here, but all depends on Bitcoin, the scenario which I gave. Okay, so place your bets intelligently. Don't rush into the market. Wait for your triggers. This is our short trigger. This is our long trigger for the mitigation, and this is our short trigger. If we get inside, have some weakness and reject, then the price comes to this level. Okay. So wait for triggers. Don't trade in between. If you take a long here, it's highly risky. I will not advise on taking a long around this area, because in case this structure fails, this cluster, demand cluster fails. This is a small demand cluster, but you are trying to hold this. But if it fails, then you don't have a stop loss to place, right? The RR is not just there. You have to place a stop loss around this low, which will not give you the risk to reward. Like, let's say if we have a long position here, okay, then we have our target here, and the stop loss is somewhere around here. So that's the the reward is less than your risk. Okay, so that setup is not going to work out here. If you want to take a long, I would say wait for a third sweep into this, okay, around 28,500 to 600 level, and then we can see if we see some momentum, then we can take a long. Okay, with the stop loss around that low. If the low is swept, whatever low we create around 28,500 or 600, whatever that is, okay, we can just take a long in between here while the price is moving up. and place a stop loss around 28,500 with a tight stop loss with your risk management, of course, and then target this level. Okay, so thank you very much, guys. Like, subscribe to our channel. Okay, share to as many friends as you can. Okay, spread the word. Crypto swings. Thank you, guys. Thank you very much.